lick the camera. Well, good morning to you, Smokey. Smokey said, if you're gonna be this late coming to feed me in the mornings, I'm just gonna come to you. Here, here, baby. She's so excited. Hold on. There you go. So yeah, I guess we'll just feed her here, which I don't know, may not, because I don't want to encourage her to come up here to the house. She's not hurting anything. She can't go anywhere. Here, Smokey. We're gonna walk and talk. We'll go down to the barn. I don't want you to associate the backyard with eating. If any of you have ever had a bottle calf, you know what this is like in terms of she is trying her best to get in my pocket, like quite literally. But yes, it is a good morning. Primarily because it's not raining. Our original forecast was for it to really be a washout this morning. Rain was moving in overnight. Still gonna rain, still expecting a big rain event today, I think over an inch, but they pushed it back to about noon. So that is nice. With this being my only day off during the week, y'all, this is really, it's gonna be a miracle if I make it to the barn before she trips me. It really is a bummer when my day off arrives and it's just raining all day. So for us to get even just a half a day will be nice. But yeah, these ladies ready to be fed as well. Yeah, I took advantage of it being my day off. Cooked breakfast for the kids, got them out the door. So fed the kids before I'm feeding the animals today. So kids like that, the animals do not. Baby, you really have got to let me go. She does not understand. But we're gonna get everybody fed and see how much we can get done before, yeah, the weather rains us out. Yes, the horse is waiting as well. Yeah, everybody. I mean, it's 7:30. I'm like, I don't know, maybe like an hour and a half behind normal feeding time. So yeah, they're all a little irritated with me. But we're gonna get you fed. Hey, don't lick the camera. Sweetie, don't lick the camera. Hey, that's a camera. That's your bottle. There you go. She made short work of that bottle. And of course, I can't show you the camera, but the GoPro and my arm and everything that's attached to it are covered in calf slobber now because she was so excited. She was just looking for anything to grab a hold and nurse on. And yeah, it ended up being the GoPro. And my pants on the wall down here and everything else. But okay, let the horses in. Of course, right back here behind the barn, still very, very muddy. But elsewhere, it's, you know, where there's not just an extreme amount of animal foot traffic, it dried up a fair bit since all that ice melted away. But that's going to be short-lived. Again, it's today's forecast. But look at her; she's found the bottle on the bench. Hey baby, it is empty. I am sorry you don't understand, but your belly's full. You don't need any more than that. You'll be scouring. So got these boys fed, and yeah, just pen conditions not great. Thankfully the barn is staying fairly clean and dry, so they've got room to get out of the mud to bed down and whatnot. But there's the newest calf with its mom, another one right there at that red hay ring. Two right there, and then one right there beside its mom scratching on the tree, which the mom scratching on the tree reminds us we still need to hit these cows with some Pour-On dewormer. We're not seeing any hair loss with the lice, but they're scratching around enough where I feel like we need to do that. Yeah, weather would cooperate. That would not be a bad project for today, but I mean, it's 100% chance of rain. I'd probably be silly to try to get that done. It's a project that won't take too long because we won't even have to run them all. We'll probably run them all through the chute, but we don't have to catch them all individually. Just hitting with that Pour-On, just a quick, we can put, you know, probably 5 or 6 in the alleyway, pour them all on, and then run them on through. But we'll have to watch for that in a future video. Okay, they're all in good shape. Everybody came up to feed. We've still yet to have the second spring calf. We're still, again, I guess maybe 3 days away from when, you know, based on a full gestation period, we should be starting. But there's that newest calf, looking nice and spry. Her mama right there. So I think it's the first day she's come up to the feed bunk since she's had the calf. Good cow. You know, we don't want one bringing a brand new baby right up here because it's obviously very muddy along this bunk line. But anyway, bulls are patiently waiting, but where they should be. So we'll get them a little feed. As we get over here to feed these boys, I'm gonna make them be patient while I talk for just a minute. But bull right here who had the prepuce injury, a month or two ago. I'm reminded of that because obviously we make shorts videos. I hope a lot of you that are obviously watching one of our full-length videos, which we really appreciate. Good time to remind you, give the video a thumbs up if you haven't. But I hope you get a chance to check out the shorts video. The one that we did on that bull when we were addressing that little injury, for some reason, and I don't understand how the algorithms and all work, just really took off over the last few days. A lot of people asking questions. So I'm not 100% sure he's going to be fine, but he looks better now than I thought it ever would. We were pretty certain he was destined to be cold as a result of that, but maybe not. So everybody's officially fed. You know, the bulls have to wait till last. They're chronically the last ones taken care of. But hay feeders, we still got a little hay in I think 4 of the 6 hay rings, so I'm not gonna need to put out hay for them today, which in a way you're almost tempted to put a couple of rolls in the empty feeders while it's dry. Not really dry at all, but drier than it's gonna be. That may actually be something I seriously consider over the next little bit. So I think I'd mentioned last video or two that our lick wheel was getting a little low. So again, a little task that shouldn't take too long this morning. Get it out here. We're not gonna get it filled up because we've only got, well, just don't have that much in the tank, but should be enough to last us. Yeah, you can see we're pretty low, but still, as we turn around, still getting good liquid up there. Open her on up. Yeah, she's coming on out. May take a little longer. I can also raise it up, tilt it over. I'm gonna let a little bit of that run out of there first. So if I do make a mess, it's a smaller mess. Starting to get it pretty low. Of course, you can probably appreciate it's a little lopsided. Missed a little bit with the fork. Got up underneath those front pallets, so we can get the vast majority of it out of there. And this thing's gonna be, somewhere between a third and a half full again. So figure we're feeding hay for another month to 6 weeks, maybe 2 months even. Should get us close to grazing time is what they'll have left in here. But starting to attract a crowd now. I did go ahead and convince myself to bring a couple of rolls of hay out here, putting these 2 empty feeders, and you can see those are mostly empty, but we don't have the luxury of wasting that much hay, so we won't put any hay in those until they go ahead and clean those up. But it's shouldn't say dry, but it's, I think minimally muddy is the word I'm going to use, or term I'm going to use. Is 2 words. Our president says, 2 words. Of course, he follows that up with "made in America," but this really is 2 words. Minimally muddy, because you can't really call it dry, but it's not going to be drier than it is right now. So get these 2 put out. That'll save me. Otherwise, I was probably going to be unrolling a roll out here on my lunch break tomorrow or early in the morning before I went to work. And that's totally doable, done it in the past, but you never know when I'm gonna get hung up at work and not get to come home for lunch. And then all of a sudden, they're completely out of hay. And I don't like that. All right, y'all gotta back up. Oh, helps if I put it in gear. Watch out, y'all. Beep, beep. Y'all will give me just a minute, I'll get it unwrapped for you. Watch out, mama. Watch out, mama. Come on now. And now this is interesting. That is a deer shed antler. Clearly one that did not just fall off, it would have been from last year. Lying right here. Now it did not, it was brought here by something else. I guess by in a roll of hay, would have had to have been. One, we did an enormous amount of dirt work here since a deer could have shed an antler a year ago. Two, it just wouldn't, I couldn't imagine one shedding an antler right there in my backyard, basically. We see deer on these other ridge tops and stuff, but I've never seen a deer right here. So imagine that was one we baled up in a bale of hay last summer. Drop this ring over it. But what do you know? I did not expect to find a whitetail shed in the pasture while I was feeding hay this morning. The rodents had definitely chewed on it. Maybe some of that was broken off, but those of you with farm equipment and certainly in whitetail country, or I guess any kind of deer country, these can be really hard on tires. I know plenty of people that have, you know, go shed hunting with a tractor tire. Not the ideal way to find one. So I'm glad to find it like that. Just look down as I was unwrapping that roll. But yeah, pretty cool. Not something that I expected to find today. Sometimes don't you just wish things were simpler and more old-fashioned, like manual windows, door locks, seats. Problem with the seats on this truck, these electric, it'll go forward, but it won't go back. So when my wife drives it, which my wife's relatively tall for a woman, she's not as tall as I am, you can sit here and you can play with this switch, and once you get lucky, you got your tongue held just right, all the stars align, it'll all of a sudden, you know, switch works and it'll go back, and then you just roll it back as far as it'll go. But it's just like, right now, I really wish, like, man, if it, because the passenger seat is manual. You just pull the lever, boom, slides up and back. It's beautiful. And like, I see the benefit of the electric windows, because obviously it's hard to roll down, you know, the passenger window and whatnot when you're driving, you know, if they're manual. But like, has anybody ever used the lever to move their seat forward or backwards and thought, man, this would be so much nicer if I just had the switch and could do it, you know, electrically, whatever. But yeah, what I would give right now to just have a manually movable seat, because I literally cannot drive this truck right now. Like if I sit here long enough, it'll eventually move, or at least it's never failed to eventually move. But I also don't have all day to stand here and mess with it. She moved. By the time I got the camera back on, it had already gone all the way back. And I was not about to take my hand off the switch. It was just simpler. Like, why? If it was just manual, that would not be a problem. But anyway, that's my rant. Y'all will allow me like one rant per video, right? Maybe I'm just making that up, but that's my rant for today. Just things like that, like there's no benefit to it being electronic. Just keep it manual. Keep it manual, keep it simple. Because this truck is 8-9 years old. I mean, it's an older truck, but it's not that old. Not old enough that all this stuff should be failing. The mirrors are the same way. These mirrors that fold in, you notice we got it kind of jimmy rigged to these screws, because it quit working where they would fold in and out, which is nice. Like, especially if you take this in the grocery store or something, those mirrors stick out, you hit that button, fold them in. But after a few years, it quits working properly, and then they wouldn't stay folded out. That's why we had to finally do that, just for those screws, because, and I'm not gonna do it, but the mirrors, you get them folded all the way out, then you get like going on the highway, and they'd fold in like a third of the way. And so then your mirror was just staring at the side of your vehicle, and it was pointless. So yeah, these creature comforts that we think of, those are great if you're trading a truck in every 2 or 3 years and it never has a chance to wear stuff like that out. But for those of us that try to hold on to one for a long time, man, it becomes a pain in the butt. This crew is looking good. Let's check on their hay situation. See, one feeder not empty, but getting there. And one feeder is empty. So, kind of got the same decision we had with the cows at home. We want to go ahead and bring them more hay while it's not raining. That's probably a smart move. I don't ever like to bring one roll down here just because it's not good use of my time. So what we may do is go ahead and bring 2 rolls and just set a second roll in on top of that. Oh gosh, found a hole there. Kind of jarred myself. Ooh, protein tub is, for all practical purposes, gone. Not quite. We'll leave it out here for them. Just move it up here a little closer. Check on this other one, but yeah, may need to pick them up a couple of tubs. Yeah, we'll see how long this rain's gonna hold off, because if they could, we could wait and bring them hay tomorrow, but yeah, it's not gonna be super convenient when I'm back to work, and it's just muddier. Okay, they're in pretty good shape on that tub, so they're not out of protein supplement. Where did my dogs go? Okay, they're down there. Sadie, I don't worry about so much, but Archie, I mean, I guess he's technically not a pup anymore. He's about 13 months old, but he doesn't know all the rules about you don't go over to the neighbors and bother their chickens and things like that. So to keep a little closer eye on him. Got them all fed. They're happy, content. If the weather would stay like this right here, I mean, I would like the sun to shine, but pretty comfortable out today for early February anyway, February the 8th. But dogs are over there after a mole or something. We got to get into town. It's a tricky thing. I got to run a few errands before I'm gonna have a chance to bring that hay down here. We'll see if we can get to that before the rain sets in. So it'd be nice to have the farm truck back, which I'll give you a little update on it. Talked to buddy who's working on it. There's a fuel pump, so not too big of a deal. But he's also, I should have mentioned this to him when I first dropped it off, but the glow plug relay switch, which is a common problem on those, that's why that truck just will not start at all, and even anything resembling cold weather. So he's gonna replace that as well. Should be just a few more days, we'll have that truck back. And of course, in a stroke of just impeccable timing, I get back home just as the rain starts. But I think I am gonna go ahead and take a couple of rolls of hay down to those calves, because the rain's just gonna continue and it's just really not gonna be convenient to do it tomorrow. So yeah, we'll just run the windshield wipers. Rain was kind enough to at least temporarily kind of let up. There are 2 more rolls delivered that'll hold them till the weekend. I may get them to Sunday, should get them to Saturday at the very least. But I left my roll of net wrap off this bale over on the ground somewhere apparently. Yep, I see it there now. Grab that. Bring it home, hopefully before it really starts raining again. Hey, did I forget that? All right, y'all enjoy. All right, back home, it kind of let up raining. So one of the things that I was doing in town, we picked something up. I'll see if I can now pick it up off the truck and get it unloaded and kind of show you what it is and what our afternoon project may become. Okay, so a new chicken coop. I think I'd mentioned it a couple of videos ago. We finally bit the bullet and ordered one. But I'm worried about picking it up. I don't know that my forks are long enough to tilt it back. So y'all might get to see an incredible crash here. Hopefully not. So I got her unloaded. Don't think I tore anything up. We'll find out in a bit. But I don't know how much assembly is required. I'm pretty sure there's some assembly required. It's 12:15. It's lunchtime. I'm gonna go get a bite to eat. Then put it in here under the barn, because obviously if it rain starts back again like it's expected to do, be a good project for us to work on. So apparently the only tool you need to assemble this thing is this. That's at least according to the internet, if you can believe that. Which, hey, if it's on the internet, it has to be true, right? But that was from their actual website, so I'm gonna trust it, which is a good thing, because most of my tools are in the F350, the service truck, which is still at the mechanic. So yeah, we'll see if we can put this thing together. So, what you think?
Looks awesome.
She is assembled. Just a little assembly required. Basically, I mean, you saw it on the time lapse there. Assume the time lapse worked. The floor, and then the four walls, and then the roof were mounted in two different pieces. Not perfectly aligned there. I can probably work on that. But now we have room, A, just for more chickens, and B, we have a much more secure coop. Yeah.
And we have
nest box, easier to get in and out of.
Yep, to get the eggs.
I'm thinking, not entirely sure where we want it. The instructions said to assemble it where you wanted to leave it, but hey, I'm not quite sure that. So I'm pretty sure my idea is I'm just gonna put a pallet under it and pick up a pallet with the tractor. I should just be able to spin it where it is, have the back wall face me.
We're going to attempt to move this, even though the instructions said to assemble it where you want to place it, but not everybody has a fine Kubota tractor. All right. Slow and steady. All right, so we decided to put it over here next to the horse barn. And now we just got to move it around.
All right, what do you think?
So these chickens are about to live a pretty bougie lifestyle now.
Compared to what they have had, a converted old literal pig pen into a chicken house. So I don't know, that may be as good a spot as any. That's where it's gonna stay for now, but we just found being careful. I don't want to be moving it every other week, because eventually we are gonna tear it up if we keep doing that. But yeah, I guess we need to go get the chickens. Go ahead and put some hay in these nest boxes. Some loose hay. 3 of them made the move. 2 got right here, and as we were trying to put them in, got away. They're fine. They're loose in the woods over there behind the barn. But
you about to lose some more.
No, they're on the other end. They'll no doubt go back to the old coop. And again, I'll probably have to wait till dark till they go in there on the roost, and I can move them later. But got these set up. Actually, there's not. I mean, there's a little ventilation spot down here. Really need to open those windows, because I mean, it's warm today. But then when it's just a screen window, like that is a prime raccoon entry point. So I don't know. We may even ultimately make some modifications where we, I mean, I don't want to do this yet. We just paid a lot for it, but put like some, put some hardware cloth over that, just like the front screen on that other one.
Yeah.
It'll affect the aesthetics of the pen a little, but it'll be a lot more secure. I think for now I may just crack those windows and hope that for the time being, raccoons don't get too bold with it. It's a nice little window, but yeah, that little screen would not stop a raccoon at all. Oh, actually, I don't want that open. Put a stick or something in there to keep it propped, just cracked, more or less. Enough to give them a little more ventilation, but my raccoon could definitely punch that screen out and lift it up. I wouldn't doubt that for a second, but those three should be content. Oh, there's our 2 eggs that were in the other nest box. I'm gonna give those to you since you're going to the house, but yeah, we'll get the other 2 at dark, or if they decide to go to roost earlier than that, we'll grab them earlier. But a few more modifications maybe to come, but very glad the rain held off. Otherwise, certainly this part of the project would not have been happening.
Did the rain just miss us?
I think there's more rain. The bulk of the early rain missed us. I'm not gonna get my hopes up because I think it's supposed to rain some more after dark. But anyway, it's about 3:30. Uh-oh, I hear a chicken. Hey! Are the dogs locked up?
I put those 2 in there.
Okay, so I don't know what chicken was squawking, but it's not the dogs. But anyway, well, now we can get some more chickens. So you know somebody's got some pullets that are about ready to start laying.
They're already laying.
Oh, so that's even better. We've done the whole chick thing several times, but it's just, oh man, it takes them so long where they get big enough to start laying. And if we can find somebody that's already got some that are already laying or close, that's nice. But ramble on at the end of videos, don't I? So, and feed the steers. I can go ahead and do that now a little early. Horses are already turned out. Cows are content because gave them some more hay. But we appreciate y'all watching. I don't know. We'll this weekend or sometime we need to go ahead and put the pour on those cows. Should be really starting to calve very soon. You know, getting into the bulk of the cows. Once they start hitting the ground, it should come pretty regularly. But anyway, if that's the end of the video, we would say, babe,
Eat beef and God bless.
y'all have a good one.